Hello everyone, I'm David Celdran, your quiz master, and welcome to Bilyonaryo News Channel's thrilling intellectual showdown. This is a battle of wits, a test of knowledge, and a chance for 27 promising college students to win a life-changing 1 million pesos. Bright minds compete for a chance to change their future, and we're here to cheer them on in Bilyonaryo Quiz B, College Edition. Today, 3 brilliant college students are vying for glory. Now, who will it be? Let's find out. So, contestant number 1 is a legal management junior from Pasig, and he's bringing both academic drive and a strong competitive spirit to today's show. Contestant number 1 says he thrives in high-stakes environments. Well then, Bilyonaryo Quiz B is his chance to shine. Give it up, everyone, for JRU's Arlance Delmo. Hello, Arlance. All right, contestant number 2 is a mathematics education senior from Palawan with a passion for literacy and community development. As founder of a youth organization promoting reading in remote areas, he brings both academic excellence and community leadership to our competition. So, let's give a warm BQB welcome to UP Diliman's Glenmar Montaño. Hello, Glenmar. And finally, contestant number 3 is a marketing freshman. Contestant number 3's determination to learn and create impactful campaigns is matched by his desire for self-improvement. Here's another thing you may not know about him. He also has a knack for songwriting. So everyone, please welcome DLSU's Reyben Cruz. And hello to all our 3 contestants. Now, we will have a chance to chat with them later, but for now, let's wish them luck as we gear up for round number 1. Before we start the competition, let's review the rules for this elimination episode.
Today's elimination episode will have 3 rounds, with the first 2 rounds covering history, science and technology, arts and literature, math and logic, geography and nature, and general information. After round 2, the contestant with the highest score will advance to the final bonus round, where the 2 with the lowest scores will be eliminated. Let's break down the mechanics of round 1. There are 12 questions worth 1,000 pesos each. The first contestant to buzz gets to answer. Correct answers earn points, while incorrect answers give the remaining opponents a chance to steal. So let's see who can outsmart and outbuzz their opponents in round 1 of the Bilyonaryo Quiz B.
All right, contestants, I hope you understood that. Now remember, once again, after buzzing in, you must wait for me to acknowledge you first before you can give me your answer. Otherwise, you will forfeit your turn. So, are you ready to showcase your knowledge? Let's begin, but first, let's test your buzzers, okay? Arlance, let's start with you. All right, your buzzer's working. Glenmar from UP Diliman and Reyben from DLSU. Your buzzers are working. Let's get our minds to work this time. Let's start with our first round of questions. Okay, we begin round number 1 with our somewhat easy questions, okay? Just somewhat easy. And we'll start with history. Also known as the Age of Reason, what term describes the Glenmar?
Renaissance.
That is not correct. So let me continue the question. Also known as the Age of Reason, either one of you can steal. What term describes the intellectual movement that dominated the world of ideas in Europe during the 17th and 18th century? Also known as the Age of Reason, but it has a more specific term. Reyben.
Classical.
Is that the classical age? No, it's not. Arlance, why not? Give it a chance.
Technology.
That is also wrong. The answer is the Age of Enlightenment, or simply the Enlightenment. It emphasized reason over blind faith. That's right, and the scientific method, among other ways of ascertaining the truth. Let's go to question number 2. Okay, listen in. A great white shark has 82, a dog has 78, a monarch butterfly 30, and a human 46. What body structures are we referring to? Reyben, give it a shot.
Limbs.
Are we talking about limbs? No, that's not correct. Arlance, go ahead.
Brain.
Brain. Are we talking about 30 brains in a monarch butterfly? No, we're not. Glenmar, it's all yours. All right. Yeah, why not, Glenmar? Go
Muscles.
ahead. Muscles. So that's, I think you're all fixated on the term body structures. Actually, we're talking about chromosomes. Chromosomes, which technically are still body structures. Let's go to question number 3. This one is in arts and literature. What short story by Nick Joaquin is also the term for the longest day of the year in the Philippines and also of the Northern Hemisphere? Just make a guess. An educated guess. Time is up. Okay, the answer is the summer solstice or summer solstice. If in the local, in Tagalog or in Filipino, it was called Tatarin, okay? And June 21 is actually the summer solstice in the country. Okay, let's go to question number 4 rather. This now is in math and logic. In geometry, what do you call a triangle with no equal sides and no Arlance?
Scalene.
That is correct. No equal sides and no equal angles. That's 1,000 points or 1,000 pesos for you, Arlance. You are now first in our scoreboard. Okay, scalene is the answer from the Greek skalinos, which is uneven or unequal. Okay, next question. Question number 5 is in geography and nature. In what province is there a stone marker declaring it as the geodetic center in the Philippines? Glenmar.
Marinduque.
That is correct, Marinduque. Would you know where it is exactly in Marinduque?
Torrejos. I don't know.
No, don't worry. You have 1,000 points, 1,000 pesos already. The correct answer, that marker is on Mount Mataas in Mogpog. Mogpog, one of the towns in Marinduque Island. Yes, that is the geodetic center of the Philippines, or the physical center, according to geodetic engineers. All right, let's go to our next question. General information. Who brilliantly executed a difficult Dragolescu double pike en route to a historic golden performance? Arlance?
Carlos Yulo.
Carlos Caloy Yulo is the correct answer. Another 1,000 points for you. That's right. He brilliantly executed a difficult Dragolescu double pike en route to a historic golden performance, a gold medal for the Philippines in the recently held Paris Olympics. Dragolescu, of course, named after a very popular Romanian gymnast in the past. Okay, let's go to our next question. History. The only time Jose Rizal and Andres Bonifacio ever met in person was at the founding of what civic organization? Arlance.
KKK.
KKK or the Katipunan, that's not correct. Glenmar.
La Liga Filipina.
That is correct. La Liga Filipina. Another 1,000 points for you. Reyben, come on. You're still close. I mean, you can still jump into this competition very early in the game. Let's go to our next question. Science and technology. What is the Tagalog name of the thiamine-rich formula discovered by Filipino chemist Manuel Zamora in 1909 that has saved the lives of countless Filipino infants? People still use it today. People still consume it today. Effective against beriberi. Arlance.
Guess. Biogesic.
Biogesic. This program is brought to you by, no, it's not Biogesic. Reyben, Glenmar, maybe when you were kids, your parents gave this to you.
Tiki Tiki.
It is Tiki Tiki. That is the correct answer. Very good, Glenmar. 1,000 points for you. That puts you in the lead right now with 3,000, 2,000 for Arlance. Reyben, come on. You can still bounce back in. Yes, it's also known as rice bran extract. Effective against beriberi, which is a vitamin B1 deficiency. All right. Slow start, but now we're getting into the groove. Let's go to our next question. Question number 9. Okay. If you guys like music, listen in. The most famous work of German composer Felix Mendelssohn is often heard at the end of what specific ceremony? Reyben?
Graduation.
Is it during graduation, as in the graduation march? No, that's not correct. That would be the Ode to Joy of Beethoven? No.
Olympics.
Not the Olympics.
No guess.
Arlance, just name any ceremony.
Wedding.
Yes, wedding is correct. It is the wedding march. Felix Mendelssohn of Germany composed that song, not necessarily for weddings, but it became attached to wedding ceremonies. Next question. Math and logic. You might have to write this down. I'll read the question twice to give you more time. What is the next number in this sequence? 2, 3, 5, 9, 17. What's the next number? Glenmar?
36.
That's not correct. Again, what is the next number in this sequence? 2, 3, 5, 9, 17. Give me the next number in the sequence, Arlance.
33.
That is correct, 33. Arlance, you're back in the lead with 4,000 points. The rule here is you multiply the previous term by 2 and subtract 1. among other ways of determining the next number in that sequence. Let's go to our next question. This is question number 11, second to the last one in this round, and this one is in geography and nature. Interesting one. Because it has a spiny exterior, the Philippine species of what rodent, Arlance?
Crocodile.
No. The Philippine species of what rodent is locally called durian? Glenmar.
Porcupine.
Yes, porcupine. That is correct. And you're from Palawan, right?
Yeah.
And the landak, as it's called, is the porcupine, the Philippine porcupine, and it's from your island, Palawan. That is correct. Let's go to our next question. This will be the last question for the first round. We'll have another round after this for Reyben for you to catch up, okay? But let's go with this question now in general information. What popular social media term also refers to an incarnation of a Hindu god? You use it in your social media. Reyben.
Repost. Repost.
No? Repost? No? Glenmar?
Hashtag.
Hashtag? No? Is that a Hindu god? Hindu god hashtag. Arlance?
No guess.
I thought you guys would know this. This is your generation. Time is up. Okay. The answer is avatar. An avatar, right? It's a Hindu god, an incarnation of a Hindu god is called an avatar. It's also your picture, your profile, right? Your profile on your social media pages and social media platforms. So, let's check out our scores after our first round of 12 questions. It's a dead heat between Arlance and Glenmar, both tied at 4,000. Reyben still at 0, but you know what, Reyben? Here's the good news. When we come back after the break, we're gonna have more chances for everyone here to rack up the points and who knows, move on to our semifinals. But first, indeed, remember this is just the beginning. Round 2 of Bilyonaryo Quiz B is just around the corner. So everyone, stay tuned for what's up next. Welcome back to Bilyonaryo Quiz B, the show to test your knowledge and prove that your intellect is your greatest asset. Remember that. Now, our contestants are done with the first round, and this is where they're at. This is where they're standing. Arlance and Glenmar both have 4,000 pesos. That's 4,000 points. They are, of course, tied for the lead. Reyben has no points at this point. However, Reyben, as you and I know, in this round, you can take home a lot more money than the previous round because we have a Billionaire Booster question as well. We'll tell you more about that later on. But for now, this, after round 2, is where we say goodbye, the two of them. So let's hit pause on the competition to get to know our contestants a little better. All right, let me start out with you, Glenmar. I've read your profile when we were vetting contestants for the program. And really interesting, what popped out to me was your advocacy for literacy among kids in Palawan and I guess throughout the country. We're doing the same thing here. We're trying to encourage intellectual pursuit. Any tips on what works with getting kids motivated?
For me, I think we need to go back to the basic because as you can see, most of the international assessment tells us that the Philippines leading behind when it comes to reading and information literacy. So I think the basic ones, like we could start with basic storytelling. So what we're doing in our organization, we do storytelling to the kids to go back to the basic because we cannot advance to higher level if we don't achieve the basic ones.
Oh, that's a good tip. Storytelling is always how people are able to learn faster and absorb more.
Definitely.
And that's what we're doing here. It's a bit of
Yes.
entertainment, a bit of fun, but of course, learning at the very heart of what we're doing. Arlance, in your profile, you said that you enjoy high-stakes environments, high-pressure moments. Is this one of those moments, Arlance?
Quiet. Pero na-experience ko na po kasi last year lang po na I'm working simultaneously and then while organizing an HIV awareness campaign, nagkaroon po ako ng Bell's palsy. Pero I continue that advocacy para magkaroon pa rin po ng HIV awareness campaign sa school namin. And yung natutunan ko po doon is that that may not be the type of leadership that we want, pero that is the type of leadership that we need. A type of leadership that shows up even in the most difficult times.
Wow, well said. I couldn't have said it better, Arlance. And you've showed up today. And despite the pressure you're experiencing, it's nothing compared to what you went through last year. Good luck, Arlance. And Reyben. Now, the interesting thing about you, Reyben, is that not a lot of people know this, but you also like songwriting. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, if you were to write a song about your experience so far here on BQB, what would the title of that song be and what would you write about?
I think I'd call it Brilliant, since it is in line with the Bilyonaryo Quiz B and the letter B's. And I think this is such an opportunity for students to show their brilliance and everything and like their skills and talents.
Amazing. That sounds like a Beyonce song. Brilliant. And like you have bright lights, brilliant students such as yourselves. Let's have a brilliant round 2. All right, so good luck, contestants. Now let's see who among them can maintain their momentum and move on to round number 2.
In round 2, the game mechanics remain the same, but the questions are now more difficult and worth 2,000 pesos each, except for the Bilyonaryo Booster question, which is worth an exciting 4,000 pesos. No wagers, no penalties, just a big-time boost to get our contestants nearer the Bilyonaryo Quiz B finish line. At the end of this round, the 2 contestants with the lowest scores will be eliminated, leaving one weekly winner to advance to the bonus round and a slot in the semifinals. If round 2 ends in a tie, the game goes into a sudden death tiebreaker, where the first contestant to answer correctly wins. So get ready, contestants. May the Bilyonaryo Quiz B odds be in your favor.
All right, so we're all set for round number 2. But remember, once again, contestants, you have to wait for me to acknowledge you before you give your answer. Otherwise, you forfeit your chance, okay? So let's begin with round number 2. History. Fill in the blank. In her often quoted line, author historian Carmen Guerrero Nakpil summarized Philippine colonial history as, quote, 300 years in a convent and 50 years in blank. 300 years in a convent and 50 years in blank. Glenmar?
Uncle Sam.
In?
Uncle Sam.
50 years in Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
That's not right. Reyben?
Prison.
50 years in prison. You know, I would have considered that using a different ideological perspective, but no, that is not correct. Arlance, what did Carmen Guerrero Nakpil say?
In Spanish colonialism.
That is incorrect. You're almost there, Glenmar. You said Uncle Sam, but that's not what you said. 50 years in Hollywood, okay? Because under U.S. colonial rule, Philippines were introduced to pop culture, introduced to show business, introduced to film, sports, so on and so forth. So Hollywood is the answer. Next question. Science and technology, or space exploration in particular. In 2012, everyone's interest was piqued when this NASA rover took a selfie on the surface of Mars. What is the name of this inquisitive car-sized robotic vehicle? The nickname of that vehicle. Not something you would know? You guys were alive in 2012. The answer is Curiosity. The name of the rover was Curiosity. That's why we call it an inquisitive robotic vehicle. Next question. Let's dive into visual arts. The famous sculpture, The Thinker, by Auguste Rodin, was originally titled The Poet, as it was intended to depict what celebrated author? Auguste Rodin's The Poet was originally referring to who? Glenmar?
Hans Carlsen Andersen.
Hans Christian Andersen, or you said Hans Carlsen Andersen.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's not wrong at all. I don't know who that man is. Any Arlance? Who was his poet? Give it a shot. Reyben?
Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe. No? Any poet?
Really
no
familiar.
answer. The answer is Dante. Dante Alighieri of the Divine Comedy, the Italian Renaissance poet was Dante Alighieri. All right, let's move on to the next question. Let's dive deeper into mathematical etymologies, the terms in mathematics to make it simple. What term for a sequence of instructions used to solve a math problem is named after an influential Arab scholar of the Middle Ages? So we're looking for the term, not the scholar, though the scholar's name is related to the term. Glenmar.
Algorithm?
Yes, it is algorithm. Named after Muhammad al-Khwarizmi. The al, of course, is the Arabic part, right? Algebra, algorithm, from Arabic, and yes, he was the father of algebra. Okay, let's go to our next question. Question number 5 is in endangered creatures, also known as the scaly anteater and highly prized for its meat. What is considered as the most trafficked mammal in the world? Arlance,
Blue whale.
is it the blue whale? No. Scaly anteater. Anyone? Reyben?
Eagle.
No. Glenmar?
It's on my tip.
The tip of your tongue. Time's up. The answer is pangolin. The pangolin, very popular in Asian animal markets. Okay, let's go to our next question. This is in languages. Once dominant in the Middle East, but now almost extinct. What specific language was spoken by Jesus Christ? Almost gone today. Reyben?
Latin.
Was it Latin? No. The Catholic Church was in Latin, but not Jesus Christ. He did not speak Latin. Time is up. The answer is Aramaic. Very few people in Syria or in parts of Lebanon speak that today. Okay, and in Palestine. Okay, let's go to our next question. This is a Bilyonaryo booster question, and this time we're doubling the money, doubling the chance to earn more points. It's 4,000 pesos for this correct answer. Okay, he became the first American to be awarded Philippine citizenship in 1936. Who was his former Governor General of the Philippines? Arlance, for 4,000.
Fidel Ramos.
Was it Fidel Ramos? That is not correct.
Douglas MacArthur.
Was it Douglas MacArthur? No.
Fidel V. Ramos.
That's wrong. You're just completing what Arlance was saying. No, it's not Fidel Ramos. It was F.B. Harrison, Francis Burton Harrison. He was given dual citizenship or awarded Philippine citizenship in 1936 because of his Philippinization program, preparing the country for independence after American colonial rule. Okay, let's go to our next question. Question number 8. This is in chemistry. Because it's safe and it can be generated rapidly by a chemical reaction, what gaseous element is used in airbags? Glenmar.
Nitrogen.
It is nitrogen. That's 2,000 points for you. Glenmar is pulling away from Arlance. He now has 8,000 points. But Arlance, a lot more questions to go, 4 more left. Let's go to our question number 9. This is in Signs and Symbols, whose image was created in 1908 by renowned artist Jorge Pineda in an editorial cartoon for the Philippine Free Press weekly news magazine. Arlance.
Albert Einstein.
Was it Albert Einstein? No. This is in the Philippines, by the way. Glenmar.
Mother Mary.
Was it Mother Mary? Mama Mary? No. I was hoping you'd mention a Filipino character.
Jose
Reyben.
Rizal. Jose Rizal.
At least that comes closest. He was actually Juan de la Cruz, a fictitious character. The everyday Filipino is Juan de la Cruz. This caricature, this symbol, this image was created by Jorge Pineda way back in 1908. That's why we know Juan de la Cruz today. Let's go to question number 10. This is in mental math. You may also, if you don't want to do mental math, you can do written solutions if you want. I'll read the question twice. In a volleyball game, each player shakes the hand of 5 other teammates exactly once, only once. How many handshakes are there in all? Again, in a volleyball game, each player shakes the hand of 5 other teammates exactly once. How many handshakes are there in all? Time starts now. Don't actually have to solve for this.
20.
Glenmar?
20.
Is it 20 times that hands were shaken? No. Reyben?
14.
That's not correct. You need this badly, Arlance. If you want to catch up with Glenmar. I'd just make a guess.
10.
Is it 10? No, it's not. It's 15. You could have done very close, Reyben. That was very close. Just one handshake away. 15. It was 5 plus 4 times, plus 3 times, plus 2 times, plus 1 time equals 15 all in all. You missed it by 1 shake of a hand, Reyben. Okay, this is where you're at, Arlance. You need to answer these 2 next questions correctly to tie with Glenmar. Okay? And we go to a tiebreaker question. If not, Glenmar is smooth sailing from here on. Let's go to our next question. These are geographical names. What do the following place names have in common? East Timor, Sahara Desert, Laguna Lake, Isla Pulo. What do they have in common? Arlance, you need us badly.
ASEAN.
Are they in the ASEAN? Not sure if the Sahara Desert is, but no, you're wrong. Time is up. Time is up. Okay, there's actually like a trick question in a way. All their names are redundant. They're just duplicates of each other. Okay, so East Timor is East and East. Sahara Desert is Desert, Desert. Right? Laguna Lake, Lake, Lake. Laguna is Spanish for lake, and Lake, Laguna Lake. Isla Pulo. I thought you'd get it there. Isla Pulo. Island, island. They're all redundant. They're repetitive. Okay, let's go to our last question. Determine who takes home the most amount of money. This is in general information, but in specifically geeky groups, okay? The legendary Homebrew Computer Club of California had a small but select membership that included Apple co-founder Steve Jobs and what Filipino tech pioneer? Pinoy tech pioneer. He's still around. Made his name in Silicon Valley, Glenmar?
Oh, Manny V.
Who?
Manny V. Pangilinan.
Okay, Manny Pangilinan. No, it was not Manny Pangilinan. All right, his name is Diosdado or Dado Banatao. Dado Banatao. Not a lot of Pinoys know this, but he was one of the original, the pioneers of Silicon Valley, and he was part of this very elite and legendary Homebrew Computer Club of California, established in 1975. Okay, so Glenmar, congratulations. You have 8,000 pesos. That's enough to move you to the next round. Arlance, you take home 4,000 pesos. Thank you so much. And of course, Reyben, it was great to have you here. And thank you so much. Arlance, Glenmar, you stay with us after this. Yes. And Reyben, thank you as well. You all did fantastic. So that's the end of round number 2. Get ready for the final showdown when our weekly winner will have a chance to increase his winnings significantly. All right, Bilyonaryo Quiz B will be right back right after these messages. Great job. Great job.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Welcome back to BQB. Now let's up the ante even more for our remaining contestant, Glenmar from UP Diliman. Now our weekly winner now enters the bonus round where the game transforms into a battle against the clock. All right, Glenmar, you have 8,000 pesos so far, but even more important than that, you're assured of a spot in our semifinals en route, hopefully, to the grand finals of Bilyonaryo Quiz B. Now, your friends and family in Palawan must be so proud of you at this moment. Except I think they're a bit disappointed you didn't answer the creature, endangered creature, the most trafficked mammal in the world, because that mammal, the pangolin, does come from Palawan, or there's a species of it in Palawan.
I got caught in the moment.
But you actually wanted to answer the local name.
The balintong.
So it's called balintong in Palawan. And it's the pangolin.
Because they create like a ball whenever they're scared.
I see. Okay, you are forgiven. Okay, your fellow Palaweños have now forgiven you. But of course, they're really proud of you because apart from moving on to the semifinals, you get to take home even more cash in this next round, our Bilyonaryo bonus round. Now let's listen to what our mechanics are.
In the Bilyonaryo bonus round, our weekly winners face off against a 60-second clock to answer 10 questions worth 3,000 pesos each. Once a question is asked, the contestant can either take their time to consider their best answer, or they can say pass and move on to the next one. After that, the question is discarded and will not be asked again, even if there is time left on the clock. To begin the bonus round, our weekly winners must first pick one of 3 mystery categories. Let's hope they choose wisely.
All right, Glenmar, we hope you choose wisely. You have 3 categories. Ito, Glenmar, this is not just about who is smartest, it's also about who is fastest. You gotta be quick here, okay? Let's take a look at your 3 categories on our screen. And there you go. Class acts, howling success, and what a wonderful world. Now, you may have some idea, some hint
Alright.
of what these categories are about. Or perhaps you're wrong, but you have to take a look at the words. In those words, you'll find clues to the questions we're gonna ask you.
Right.
So do you have an idea of what you want to choose?
Yeah, I think I'll choose the What a Wonderful World.
What do you think it is?
I think more of geography, natural environment, or something.
You are correct. These are human-built or natural wonders of the world.
Alright.
And I'll ask you questions referring to that. Okay?
Alright.
So, the timer will start as soon as I finish reading the first question. Remember, no buzzers here now. No waiting for me to acknowledge you. Just be quick. Are you ready for your 10 questions?
Yes.
We're looking for wonders of the world.
All right.
Okay? And answer only after say time starts now. Let's begin with the first one. The ancient statue of the supreme Greek god at Olympia stood nearly 40 feet high. Timer starts now.
Zeus.
Luzon attraction, sometimes dubbed the eighth wonder of the world.
Banawi Rice Terraces.
Completed in 1931, the first building in the world with more than 100 stories.
Pass.
Tallest building then. Massive system of waterfalls on the border of Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay.
Rainforest.
This Roman landmark remains the largest standing amphitheater in the world.
Colosseum.
In Rome. Pacific archipelago made famous by Charles Darwin.
Galapagos Island.
Towering structure guiding ships into a city harbor in ancient Egypt.
The
Ancient wonder.
Tower of Alexandria.
Opened in 1994, it has the longest underwater section of any tunnel in the world. 1994.
Pass.
The world's biggest single structure made by living organisms.
Forest. Pass.
Magnificent tomb built in the 4th century by King Mausolus. Magnificent tomb built in the
Pyramid.
4th century BC for King Mausolus. No, the answer is mausoleum at Halicarnassus. But I think you got a lot of those questions right, so let's go back to them. Ancient statue of the supreme Greek god, that alone was the clue. Zeus is correct. Luzon attraction, eighth wonder of the world. Banawi Rice Terraces or Ifugao Rice Terraces, both are correct. You're right. Completed in 1931, I thought you'd know this. More than 100 stories high.
I would say Taipei 101, but I don't know.
That's much more recent. No, just the Empire State Building
Okay.
in New York City. Massive system of waterfalls on the border of Argentina, Brazil, and Paraguay. Iguazu
Iguazu,
Falls. This Roman landmark, largest amphitheater in the world. You're correct. The Roman Colosseum. The Galapagos was the Pacific archipelago made famous by Charles Darwin and his theory of evolution. Towering structure guiding ships into a city harbor in ancient Egypt. Tower of Alexandria. Yeah, the correct answer is Pharos. That's the Greek word for the lighthouse. Or Lighthouse of Alexandria. You know what? I'll give it to you. Tower of Alexandria. It is a tower after all. It is in Alexandria, the ancient city of Alexandria in Egypt. You are correct. Opened in 1994. It is the longest underwater section of any tunnel in the world. It's the Channel. The Channel Tunnel. Do you know what that is?
In the island, English island. English Channel.
Between, yes.
The France
yes,
and,
connecting France
okay.
and
UK.
England. The world's biggest single structure made by living organisms is the Great Barrier Reef. And of course, our last question, the tomb built in the 4th century BC for King Mausolus, mausoleum at Halicarnassus. You did not get that right, but that was quite a number of correct answers you had there. We're adding it up. So previously you had 8,000 pesos. We're adding 15,000 pesos. You have a total of, mental math, 23,000 pesos. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, man.
And best of all, of course, you get a chance to meet some of these great contestants we had earlier. And I think the most important prize is moving on to
definitely.
the semifinals of Bilyonaryo Quiz B. That's right. Congratulations once again. Now, thank you to all our contestants and to everyone, all of you, for watching. Always remember that knowledge is our greatest asset. Knowledge is our greatest asset. See you all next week on Bilyonaryo Quiz B.